And we are live. What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the world's most inspirational, motivational, confrontational, monetizational, realest podcast in the world. This is the Ugly Money Podcast. I am Ugly Money Nietzsche. Y'all go hit them likes up. Drop them cities and locations. Pre-show, a trigger alert. We are here tonight. My guest for the evening has something on his mind, has some things to talk about, has some gems to drop. We're going to get it out of him tonight. Pause. Hailing from New York City, son. He's the CEO of a platform called Producer Plug. Y'all show you that one time for Gustavo.
Let's get it. What up, man? What up, Ugly?
Hey, brother, man, I appreciate you just making time because, you know, you be moving around so much. You know, you're kind of like a hurricane. You're here today and gone tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? You're always moving around. Now, last time we connected, we was in Texas.
Yes.
And then now you in Atlanta and gonna be gone by tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I finally got you here before you was gone again. So I guess the first question I gotta ask is, who was Gustavo before Gustavo became the Producer Plug?
Man, I was just a regular local DJ in New York City, man, just doing my mixtapes, things of that nature. And then little by little, I'm getting these phone calls from like Def Jam, a guy by the name of Kanye West, by the name of Ye.
Yeah, a guy named Kanye.
You know, reached out, and I just started to do like the mixtapes and distribution, and little by little, I just started, you know, planning my own pole, my own flag.
Now, I saw I think we all saw the Kanye West documentary on Netflix.
Right.
Was Kanye West always as confident as he appeared to be back then?
From day one, when we did that mixtape, he was always like that. And I remember the day I got the call to come see him when he just came from he had surgery from LA to New York. He was living in Jersey at the time, and throughout all the stuff he's going through, man, he still recorded music. So just for me, seeing that was so inspirational, because, you know, sometimes I know a lot of people, especially artists or athletes, they'll get into a bad physical, something bad, and they won't come back from that. But this dude, he just took that as motivation to even become more greater. So I just took that as well. Like, damn, when my days is low, I just remember that day and like, man, let's keep going, pushing forward, you know?
You know, the amount of confidence one has to have, like a Kanye West, to basically everybody tell you, can you please not rap and just make beats? And him, you know, saying, I don't agree, I'm going to rap. And for him becoming literally the biggest rapper of all time, you know, it's just a testament to his fortitude. Now, we all know Kanye for his music.
Yeah, right.
But we know Kanye for other things. Were there any signs that Kanye was going to be the polarizing figure that he is today back in the day?
No, like I said, from that day when I seen him, and I basically went to his house. He had like a condo, and when I went to his house, he was recording. He had like a little 4-track, and he's actually recording like a Yamaha. He's recording, and like I said, from that day on, I knew he was gonna be great, because you can't come back from that, especially with your jaw. Like, he's like talking like this and still recording. I'm like, yo, how you even doing? Like, it really takes a different type of mind to even like say, yeah, I'm gonna keep going. Like, I'm not gonna let nothing stop me, you know?
Jaw wired shut, that boy in there rapping.
Yeah, he gave me a little CD, and it was like unreleased music, which became released down the line. But like I said, for me, that was really inspirational, because it's like, yo, people don't have that nowadays, you know?
You know, we've all had our moments where we've loved and appreciate the art that is Kanye West, from clothing to music to everything, you know, to the things that he says. He's a very outspoken person.
Yeah.
So when you see him get in hot water for saying certain things like, George Bush doesn't care about black people, what are your thoughts?
I think what Ye, man, I feel, I'm going to keep a stack with you like we always talk about, man. Yo, he be trolling a lot of this stuff. I think he really does stuff to get a rise out of people. you know. And if people don't really start understanding what he's doing, then you're basically he got you.
You know, and I started saying that when I saw the when he had the KKK outfit on that was black, and I'm like, and he was wearing a swastika, iced out swastika. I'm like, oh, he's trolling.
Listen, when I seen him do the live with Ack, and when he was wearing the Sean John T-shirt, I already knew off rip it was about to go down. So when he left, I was like, yo, if this dude comes back wearing the joint, and he did. I was like, oh, here we go. It's the headline, like, you know. So that's how you really see it. It's really the headline. It's like, yo, how much attention I'm gonna seek from everybody.
Right. I think Kanye West literally sits in his house and thinks like, how am I gonna piss people off? How am I going to start a social media frenzy? And then Kanye is the first top search person on Twitter, and like just like with his ex-wife Bianca Censori or whatever, he literally has her there in a see-through
whatever. No, but you gotta understand too. You know, it's so crazy. Like they will attack him, but any other woman that does that, it's okay.
Right.
So like, there's a double standard with a lot of that stuff as well. When he does it, it's horrible. But if it's not him, it's okay. Do
you think that Kanye West is mentally stable right now?
I think Ye, like I told you, is sitting back and just really plotting to get people pissed off on what he's doing. And remember, every time he puts out an album or anything, this is his marketing tool. There's no marketing strategy. No artist can really like polarize that he could, you know, at this moment.
Right. I just saw an unreleased version of the Hail Hitler song, and I was just like, I guess too far is never too far for Ye. You know, it's just like, hey, too far. And then he'll have like he'll either apologize or have a kind of unseen explanation for what he's doing. You know, it's kind of like when the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl performance and everybody was like, no, it's the semantics that are in it. Like, I'm like, yeah, it's a dude rapping. There's no, the crowd is a PlayStation controller and it, you know what I mean? It's like so many different hidden gems or whatever that, and I don't know if Kanye be having the gems, but he be saying that he got the gems.
Listen, this is one thing I can say about this guy, and I helped collaborate on a lot of the albums. The one thing I can say about him, and especially the work ethic, is that he is not an egotistical maniac. If you have an amazing idea, because it's about the music first, you know? So that's the one thing that I personally have seen throughout the years, that he never ever was like, it's my way or the highway. It's like, yo, I like your idea. Let's push the record forward, you know? And I feel like that's the one thing that a lot of people kind of don't really see, you know, through the media and things of that nature.
Now you're from New York.
Yeah, B.
And
son.
And there, word to mother, B. And there was a time where New York was on the top of hip hop. Since then, I mean, it's debatable, but New York had the most iconic run in hip hop for, well, at least my generation when I was growing up, you know, 90s, early 2000s. We literally, if Jay-Z told us to wear button-up shirts and stop wearing jerseys, we did it. When Jay-Z told us to, you know what I'm saying, put the, you know, wear Timbs, we did it. Whatever Hove had told us to wear, like I remember wearing a Snoopy on my shirt because Hove said wear Iceberg. Right? And so, at least recently, there hasn't been as many prominent artists that break out of New York as other cities. Why do you think that has happened?
I think, man, New York has always have a stable sound, which we know is the traditional boom bap. And, you know, we have artists like Joey Badass, Flatbush Zombies, you know, that really, like, leading the way of, like, that boom bap march. Obviously, we have Griselda as well leading the march on that. So I just feel like New York has never, like, left its sound. I just feel like certain artists will adapt to other people's sound, which is not bad anyways,
Right.
you know, because, you know, I just finished having a conversation with Raekwon about him recording Skew at the Barbecue with Big Boy, and that's Aquemini is one of the biggest albums of all time.
For
And
sure.
this is the first time ever you have an artist from the East Coast, Wu-Tang, in The Bird Is So High Up in the Sky, and then do this song with Outkast, and they're so up there that song becomes so major, right? Because it's like you're bringing the gumbo together now.
Yeah.
Right. So when you stir it up the pot, then that's all really what it is. You know, hip hop has always been a cultural mixture of everything that we're doing. You know, and like
Sure.
and it goes in different directions. You know, it went to the west, it goes to the south. You know, and everyone has their time. You know, but like I said, I feel like New York, like we always put out traditional music, and I think there are newer artists that are also coming out that's holding the banner as well. You know.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I've definitely seen, you know, some artists pop. I mean, New York has this whole own drill wave right now. That's just like, okay, and they do the dance with the leg. The leg gets up and then it's one.
It's sturdy.
Yeah,
it gets sturdy.
Yeah, see, I'm from the South. Sorry, you know, you know. So I mean, it's definitely something cultural that's always bubbling in New York or whatever. Just you know, I just wondering. I'm like, you know, because there was a time, brother. If you was from New York and you looked like you could rap, you got a deal. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, since then of the internet or whatever, things have changed, and you know, people from other markets are able to get some shine. But New York has still always been the mecca of hip hop. Now, I had Dame Dash on the show not too long ago.
Big shout to Dame.
Shouts out to Dame, first and foremost. Shouts out to Dame.
That ugly money.
Innovator.
We're gonna get in some trouble.
That ugly money.
And when I talked to Dame Dash, he said that Jay-Z ran off with 30 birds, meaning Jay-Z ran off on him in the music industry. Do you, being from that era of things, is that the way that you see it, that Jay-Z kind of crossed out Dame?
I really don't know the personal business between them, but what I have seen online from the Choke No Joke stuff, that like, you know, Dame, you know, came into these meetings, and in the music industry it happens like that, man. You know, people tend to forget, or they tend to stray from you because they think you don't know the business anymore, which is sad, you know. And I feel like, especially men of color, we should be bonding more than just letting a dollar, you know, like
Facts.
separate us.
Facts.
You know, because a dollar is a dollar, man. And the one thing I learned from other cultures is that they don't really separate us, man. They stay together. So I mean, my personal opinion, I really didn't like the way Hove did that with Dame. You know what I mean? Because I'm at that time also I was working at Def Jam, being there, 1999,
Right,
being
exactly.
young, seeing, like, I remember when it was Dame and Hove. And I'm telling you inside information, like Dame and Hove being in the Rockefeller office and telling me, the street team members, to hear the first Beanie Siegel album.
Wow.
So when I'm seeing stuff like that, it's like, damn, bro, like, dude was actually there. He wasn't sitting upstairs in the office in the 28th floor just waiting. Now he was actually in the trenches with the street team, hearing the actual real reactions, you know?
Like, where did it go wrong? Because I was a huge Rockefeller fan.
Man, it goes to about money, man. Money and control and power, man. You know, sometimes you don't want someone to sign off, and you know, what I always learned is sometimes you have someone that's always here to help you out. You know, so I think Dame was that. I think Dame was that. They didn't like that he was there making sure things wasn't getting messed up. You know.
Now there was a time where Dame would go to war for Jay. And he would go in those offices and fuss at everybody and cuss everybody out about Jay. I can remember on the tour.
Backstage.
Yeah, backstage.
Backstage, yeah.
They gave him Def Jam jackets. What was that dynamic like between Rockefeller and Def Jam back then?
Well, you got to understand, they were independent. They spent their own money for that tour. I was just talking to one of my brothers, my Wu brothers, about this, how that was a very impactful tour, but it was all, they all put their money behind that. So for Def Jam to come in and give them some jackets, it's like, you didn't even give us jackets for our own album release. How are you going to come on a tour that we funded, and you know that there's going to be ABC or the news people taking pictures and taking video of us at the end of the night, and we're gonna be wearing your jacket like it was a funded Def Jam thing when it wasn't.
Yeah.
You know.
So Rockefeller paid for their own tour.
Yeah, these guys came out of their own pocket. Paid, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, you gotta understand. Back in the days, you had to pay for your own tour bus. You got to pay for your own crew. You got to pay for your own lighting. You got to pay for everything out your own. So Def Jam, sometimes these companies, they put a lot of money, but they don't actually believe, because what they want to do, Ugly, and for your viewers to know, they want to keep you in debt. That's their goal, to keep you in debt. So if they know that if you do a tour, they know that tour is going to generate revenue, and not just revenue off the CD sales. Because remember, back in the days, it was CD sales. It wasn't none of this digital stuff, but also the tour merch and a bunch of other things. You know, so.
Oh. Now, I want to talk about Leor. Now, Leor gets a good rap sometimes, and Leor gets a bad rap sometimes. Is Leor the monster that they paint him out to be, or is he misunderstood?
All right. With my experience with Leor Cohen, I've never, ever had any issues with him. The first time I've ever dealt with Leor was with an artist named Adrian Young. He's a very known composer, and he does a lot of stuff like the scoring for like Blackish, a bunch of other stuff. Really, really dope composer, and he basically started to get managed by Leor. I remember one day, my first meeting with Leor, my babysitter, she bailed on me, so I had to bring my 3-month-old child to the meeting. And when I brought my son to the meeting, Leor was like, "Oh, more life, more life. Give him a bottle." and Leor was just like, "Man," I said, "Leor, I have a meeting. Like, baby bailed. I gotta do this meeting." So personally, I never ever had no issues with Leor Cohen, and he is one of the few executives that paid me more because he seen my value than any other executive. So I could say that there's a few executives that I can really say that like always made sure like the money was right. RZA from Wu-Tang Clan, Large Professor, like these are like guys who like really learned the business and then put me down with stuff. So
now, gotta get us in trouble. We know the people that are doing good business. RZA, Wu-Tang, Leor. Who's not doing good business?
Man, listen. All I gotta say is there's a lot of people out there. You know why I mess with this guy? Because there's a lot of people that will say they will be on the internet, social media, TikTok, saying that they're doing this, leading you guys on. All those things, all these like, oh, you pay this, we're gonna get you popping. That is not true, man. There is no way you're gonna get popping like that. All these people hit, pay 500. Like, it don't work like that. Listen, you gotta do the grind. You gotta make it happen. You gotta see Ugly, because I only work with people who actually have platforms that work, and a lot of these platforms don't work, man. You know, so that's all I gotta say in regards to that.
There it is. We'll take it. We'll take it. Now, explain to the people that have been sleeping under a rock, what is Producer Plug and why should they tap into it?
All right, cool. So I started Producer Plug around 2019. Basically, a lot of producers were reaching out to me in regards to they were going to like a Universal, a Republic, or a Warner, and you know they'll get some issues in regards to like, oh, they want my beat, but I need to give them some of my pub, or they want like a percentage or whatever. So they usually call me up, and I'll just basically, I'll know the actual executive, or I'll know the A&R, and I'd be like, yo, they're signed to me, like you can't do that to them. And they're like, all right, we're gonna back down. So eventually, I started seeing like a lot of older producers that really didn't have like younger dudes to like kind of teach over. So I was like, you want to know something? Let me do something where I bring the OGs and the younger producers, and we bring them together so they could start doing these beat battles. So I started that in 2019. I had Ghostface, I had Easy LP, rest in peace 45 King, Havoc, and then in 2020 hit, we had the pandemic. So the cool thing about the pandemic for me was that I had this program called Shindig. It was like a better version of Zoom. So my program didn't have no latency. So I had like Brian Michael Cox, Robert Glasper, Mike Dean, Large Professor. I had all these guys as guest judges of my beat battles online. And basically it started to blow up every time I did one. So I had like 300-400 people come through, and then it just became viral. And then once the pandemic crossed over, we opened up a record store in Canal Street called Producer Plug Records, and it was also in co-branding the Squad Up song that we did with the Yankees.
Now, I got a question because we have talked recently about that record store, and you don't hear about a lot of people trying to open up a record store these days. How does someone make money with a record store in 2025?
Listen, guys, I'm gonna tell you guys the sauce about the record stores. Go find some good vinyl on these thrift stores that cost you like $1 or $2, and you can go to this thing called Discogs, and it shows you how much these records cost, and you can just go flip them. A record that costs you $1, you could sell it for $10, $20, right?
Oh,
So
I knew it was something. I was like, how are we gonna make money at a record store and people go on iTunes?
So what ended up going on too was like I said, this really predates the pandemic thing, right? So once the pandemic hit, all the value of vinyl and CDs and tapes went up because people couldn't get it. So they're doing auctions online, and they're doing all this what's the name of the thing where everyone was inside, like a Clubhouse? They were doing all these Clubhouse stuff. But what was really going on is that the value of vinyl was going up, and people were started to making record clubs and this, that, and the third, and grading their vinyl. And once the pandemic went away, people started to like hang out with each other and start doing podcasts about vinyl, and started opening up record stores and doing pop-ups. So record stores is where
it's
it
a
is
culture.
right now.
It's a culture.
Yeah, and remember, it's not just our generation. It's these younger kids now who really rock with vinyl because of movies like and shows like Stranger Things, you know?
Yeah, for sure. No doubt. Shut up. Before we get out here, I got to ask you about Cardi B. You're from New York. I got to see. All right, Cardi B has since filed for divorce from Offset and is now dating football star Stephon Diggs. Many people have things to say. A lot of women are on Cardi's side. A lot of men are on Offset's side. Offset is crashing out. What is your thought on that situation with Cardi and Offset?
Man, it's just sad, man. It's overall just sad to me because it's like, I always champion black love. We had Pap and Remy, and
Woo!
we all these.
That was my next question. Don't worry about it.
We hear all these songs. All these songs you hear, like referencing them and all that. So it's just sad, man, because you really root for them because. When you're in the public eye, man, it's totally different than living your private life. You don't really you could do what you want to do, man. But, man, I just feel like it's bad, man. It's really bad. But for me, man, I'll have to go with Offset, man, because she's doing way too much, man. And I just feel like, man, she just got to stop, man. And it's like you're a mother. Like, you have to set, your kids one day is going to see that when they get older,
My thought process with that whole thing was, how are you going to leave your husband for cheating to go with the guy that's going to cheat more? I guess we'll never know.
That ugly money.
Last question.
That ugly money.
Pap and Rem, both from New York, both New York staples, have been known for black love as a spokesperson for black love, are going through their divorce situation, and words have been exchanged between Clarissa Shields and Rem, and words have been exchanged from Easy to Block Captain and Pap. What's your thought process? How hard is it to stay neutral, or if you're staying neutral?
Man, it's just like I said. It's the same thing about like Offset. Like, damn, like keep that. There's something I learned a few years ago, man. Some things you just got to keep private, man. But like I said, because they're public figures, things are going to come out, and it just got sloppy, man. But like I said, for me, listen, man, Pap did a lot, man. Like, if you went to go see your lady through a bid, nah, I don't know, man.
That's crazy, right?
You know what I mean? That's wild right there. I mean, you went to go see through a bid. That was 5 years, right? That was 5
8
joints.
years.
8 years. Come on, man. That's a long time.
Hey, man, before we get out of here, let these folks know where to follow you at, where they can tap into you, everything you got coming up, brother.
All right, you can go to producerpluguni.com. You can get all your vinyl from there, 45s, things of that nature, beat battles, all the updates. That's all my social media as well. Also, Producer Plug Records. That's all like my record stuff, all up-and-coming releases that we coming out. I got a new single out. It's called Plug Symphony. We're going viral again. Big shout out to Big Boo. Big shout out to Foul Monday, Solo Jones. And I also got a 20th anniversary Street Life Method Man. Method Man presents Street Life, Street Education.
That's our mouth.
Anniversary out now. We out here in the Wu-Tang tour. Hopefully you're going to join us later.
Hey, man, I ain't got nothing to do. I'm single, and I'm ready to mingle.
That ugly money.
Yes.
That ugly money.
I'm single, ladies.
That ugly money.
5,200 square foot house.
That ugly money.
Talk that talk.
I need somebody to decorate.
That ugly money.
California king bed.
That ugly money.
It gets lonely in there.
That ugly.
Remember, the bigger the dream, the bigger the risk, the bigger the payoff. This has been the Ugly Money Podcast with producer Paul Gustavo.